Hey everybody, thanks for joining another mscrm-addons.com webinar. Today we're going to be covering the topic of document automation in Dynamics CRM and just kind of automation in general. My name is Clint Higley. I'm going to be taking you through this. Just to let everybody know a couple things before we get started. Number one, we have had a few internet issues here this morning. So if the internet does drop and the meeting does drop, we'll be recording this webinar and we'll get that out to you along with the slides so you can watch it. That being said, you know, if you joined these before, we always do record these. And you know, we'll send out an email with that information to you. Hopefully we can get through this without any issues. The other thing is that I do have a couple of team members here in the chat. They're going to be able to answer any kind of questions you have while the webinar is going. And at the end of the presentation, time permitting, we will take a few questions. This one will run a little bit longer than usual, probably about 30 to 35 minutes or so, and yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started with it. The first thing that I want to do is talk a little bit about document automation and also just the value of automation in general. One of the things that automation in Dynamics CRM can do for you is it can reduce your user workload. Basically, you know, it takes time to you know, to go through processes and things of that nature. By automating some of these processes, you can reduce the number of clicks, and also, you know, if the machine's doing it, that frees up your users to actually go ahead and be doing other things. So it helps definitely reduce that user workload. It also helps reduce errors by standardizing your processes. It's just a, you know, it's gonna the machine, the servers and everything like that, your automation, the workflows, etc., are going to do the same thing every time. So you're not going to have an issue like, say, for example, like if you had lots of clicks and lots of fields to fill in that could be automated, you're not going to run into that issue where, you know, people sometimes forget to fill things out. I know I do. And so that can cause a few problems, but you can reduce that by just by using these processes inside of CRM here. It's going to speed things up for you. CRM workflows are faster than users. There's generally no delay in response. So if you say you have a portal and you know, some user has to fill out some information, you want to send them a welcome greeting back, you know, you can trigger a workflow inside of CRM to automatically send out that email. Your user doesn't have to look at that user's information, write up an email, and send it on out. You know, usually a workflow takes about a minute or so, depending on the size of the workflow, a few minutes to process. Whereas if the user was going to do the same thing, it's going to take them, you know, 5 to 10 minutes to do the same process. So it definitely speeds that up for you. The other thing is it's going to standardizes internal and external communications. It helps you keep clean and consistent data and documents throughout your CRM system. By using these, again, everything, you know, is the same. Again, touching on what I said with reducing errors, you know, it helps you. You know, there's some forms that can be filled out, some fields that can be filled out automatically. You know, it keeps data consistent. You know, I see this kind of every day, you know, in the support queue that we use. We all kind of, you know, pick up support cases, you know. So one of my colleagues might be working on it. You know, they may go out of town. I'm able to kind of go into CRM, and because we have some of this automation in place, it keeps that data consistent so I can actually see kind of what's going on and just pick right up and keep on working. So some examples where automation will come in and help you out here. Like, for example, you could send payment confirmations, which is kind of one of the things that we're going to touch on today, kind of show you how to do that. It's just a quick and easy way to do this and, you know, to free up some of your users' time. You can do order and shipping notifications. You know, these can be automatically done on the fly as you're kind of going through the system. You can schedule reports, like say for example, you can set up a list of opportunities. If you're a sales manager, you want to get that list of opportunities that close every week on Friday. You're going to get that email on Friday. You're going to see which opportunities are closed, and that's going to automatically happen without kind of any user interaction. So it's something you can do. You can also set up welcome packages for, like for example, new website registrations or customers. It's a really handy thing. Through your portal, you can go in and have all that information filled out and added to CRM, and then automatically send that email out again without any user interaction. CRM does have some nice out-of-the-box capabilities. A couple of things to touch on would be, for example, like business rules, the business process flow, which are two really great out-of-the-box tools that CRM has. The other thing that does is kind of like the full automation piece of CRM would be like using workflows or actions. That's really gonna that's where it's kind of the rubber meets the road on that. They have a lot of nice features in that. One of the things, though, that we kind of bring to the table is document automation with DocumentsCorePack from Microsoft Dynamics CRM. I basically kind of want to go over how it works and how we kind of fit into CRM and the workflows, etc. Number one, basically, is we have a process that could be either a workflow or a dialogue. That's started by your user, triggered by your user, or triggered by an event. Like say, for example, a contact's created. That's all done inside of CRM. Like say, a couple good examples are like invoice status changes or a lead's been generated, etc. The next step would be we have a document that's been generated. We can generate documents in all different kinds of file formats, as you can see here. And you're able to create email attachments and content. So that's going to add a little bit to, say, for example, your workflows as well. The next is processing the document. You're going to be able to do some post-processing on that by either, so you can send the email automatically. You can save it back to CRM and SharePoint. You can print your generated documents. E-signature, start the e-signature process. Etc. So it really kind of adds a lot to CRM. In our demo today, basically what we're going to cover is some DocumentsCorePack dialogue automation tips, and we're going to show you how to do an automatic payment confirmation. The first part, again, we're going to show the quick DocumentsCorePack dialogue automation tips. We're going to set up a workflow that sends a basic email once an invoice is marked as paid. We're going to enhance that workflow by generating a professional PDF attachment to attach to basically a professional email that we're going to send to our user, letting them know that their invoice has been paid. And thereby we're going to bypass some of the standard CRM email template things that you just can't do, such as add pictures and a few other things. So I'm going to flip over here to my demo system here, and so now what we're looking at is this is CRM Online. I'm looking right now at my invoices here. This is these things have gone all the way from the opportunity phase to we're quoted it out. From that we then created an order, and from that order we then create the invoice. So now it's my job to go in to these particular invoices, and then what I want to do, the first thing here is I actually want to go ahead and I want to send this invoice out. Now, this is one of the things that we do offer here with DocumentsCorePack. We're able to actually create these documents, and I can create this invoice and just kind of send it out. So I can kind of show you this here. It's a sort of a long process here. I can kind of go in, I can choose a template, and I'll say click my next button. And then I can select here basically all the different things that I want, my file type, etc. One of the things that, that we have covered in another webinar, and if you're kind of interested in this whole process, you can go and look under our webinars and kind of check that one out. Once I get this set, I'm able to kind of save these configurations here so that it's basically going to do the same thing over and over again. As you can see here, you know, I've had to have a few clicks to get to this. What's a little bit better is if you kind of save and set up these configurations, it helps automate that process by, I'm just going to hit my Create Document button. I want to send the invoice, so I'll click this. The user's going to see the Send Invoice button. I'll just click that. Here I do have, I've left a couple of choices here, so I can send it, it's coming from myself, and I can select who it's actually going to. Then I'll hit Next. And what happens is that document's created. I also have a DocumentsCorePack email template that I'm going to be inserting in this email. And once this is all finished, here it pops up my email here, and then it's automatically sending. So this is here in the process here of being sent. It takes just a second to kind of come over. So we'll just kind of wait on this on my email here. And in just a second, we will receive it. All right, great. So I got it here. So as you can see here, I've got this is basically this is a DocumentsCorePack email template. Here I have all the information like filled in. Also able to put in pictures into that, you know, signature blocks, etc. You can put in all your little Facebook, Twitter, etc. All those images in there. You can actually set up. These are links. That's something that you can do with DocumentsCorePack that you can't do with the standard CRM emails. So, and again, here I have my invoice here as a PDF, so I can open that up, and you know, just kind of take a look. You know, I've got a professional-looking invoice here that you know, that's you know, good to kind of send out to any customer. So that basically covers then the Create Document button and how you can go basically. So I've gone here from, you know, by choosing everything, I've gone from, you know, 10 clicks to, you know, kind of saving that configuration. I've brought it down to 3 clicks. If I wanted to bring it down even more, what I'd like to really do here now, let's say that the invoice has gone out, we've received a check back, it's been processed. So, you know, I'm going to set this as paid. Well, what I want to do is when I click this button, I want to be able to have a workflow just kind of fire in the background that's going to send them off an email confirmation saying, hey, you know, thank you for your payment. And I also want to include a coupon for 10% off their next purchase. It's really easy to do. You just do it via the workflow. Another way that you can do this and fully automate it is, like, say, for example, you can go to your portal and you can have that, you know, kind of trigger this event. So say, for example, once an invoice gets paid, that then triggers this to automatically be set as paid, and the workflow will fire. But here, because I don't have a portal, I'm going to be doing it this way through the Invoice Paid button. So I'll just click over here to my processes here. And as you can see, I've got a process kind of already, a workflow already kind of set up here. So let me just kind of blow this up for you here. All right, great. And got a few general steps in here. Already started it, gave it a name here. You know, set it up for the entity of invoice. It's a workflow. You know, we're going to run this workflow in the background. So now where the full automation kind of comes in, if you're not familiar with this, if if you've done workflows before, this is probably old stuff. But if you've never looked at this really before or been kind of a little bit intimidated by it, this is basically where the automation kind of piece comes in. You can run these as on demand, but then your user has to kind of go in and kind of pick a workflow out to run. But you have the ability here to start those, say, for example, like when a record's created. So when I create a new contact, you know, send an email or do this or fill this, you know, update these records, etc. Status changes, you can do it on status changes, when it's assigned to someone else. You can even get down to when certain fields change, which is very helpful. Also, when a record's deleted. So on this particular case, I'm going to do this when the invoice record, when its status changes. Okay, and I've gone ahead and set this up, just got a little bit of info in here. So my first part is I'm looking for the status change that the invoice is paid. So I've set a little condition here. It's going to look at the record, and if the invoice status equals paid, then it's going to go through this whole process. Now what I've done here already as well is I've gone ahead and created an email. There's two different ways in a workflow that you can create an email. You can actually, there's this, you can create a record that's just an email, or you can actually, there's an actual send email function that you can use here. Either will work fine. Let me just go ahead. The properties on these pretty much look the same. Basically here, I have an email that I'm going to be generating. I can actually add these fields in here. These are all dynamic fields. So this is going to be from. This is going to be the person who created it by, and this is going to be to the customer. And then you can do also like a mix of static and dynamic entries. Okay, how to basically add these things, these dynamic fields here. If I click in here and I want to say like add like the billing address. Basically, all I need to do is I can actually look for fields from the primary entity or from some related entities as well. I can also get some local values from my workflow, and I just basically select what I want to add to it. So if I wanted to add the billing address, I would just click on that and add, and then add it to my workflow. So when this is then run, it's basically going to pull the billing address from the particular invoice and stick it into to this email here. All right. So you can basically go through here. Oops, I'm having some clicking issues here. You can basically go through this. I can do dear so and so, and add all these fields, etc. But what makes it a lot easier is using DocumentsCorePack. You can use DocumentsCorePack to actually create these emails. And actually what DocumentsCorePack will do is it'll insert that created document into this email body. So this is why in our process we just create an email record. Okay. Also important, just make sure regarding set to what you want it to be set for. And then you're good to go once you set all this up. So you can go ahead and save and close that. And then what we do is we go on to the next step. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create that email body here using a DocumentsCorePack template. So I'm going to create a record, and the record type that we want to create, so I'll just create email body. Okay, so I'll create a auto merge working item here. So mscrm-addons.com auto merge working item. I'll create that record. All right, and I will go ahead and set these properties. Now this is basically, these auto merge working items is basically what tells your DocumentsCorePack service what it needs to do in order to, to process these workflow steps. So basically what I'm going to do is give this a name. I'm just going to call it email body. Okay, and then give it my action here. So you have several different actions that you can pick from. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a document here, and then I need to give it a primary record URL. And the primary record URL is located here under invoice, and then it is the record URL dynamic. Okay, so that's basically going to pull over the record that I'm actually running this workflow against, and it's going to run that against, it's going to do all these commands against that particular record. So just add that and add that in there. Give it my template to execute here. Let's see here. I'll just go ahead and I just need to look these up real quick. So let's see. Going to go ahead and grab I have a payment receipt email template here that I'm going to be using. That's going to be my email body here. And now here, I'm going to save this as an HTML document. Okay. The reason that I say this is HTML is because when DocumentsCorePack actually creates this, I will then here, I'm going to come down here and I'll attach it to the email. I'll do that in just a second. But when I attach it to the email, DocumentsCorePack is smart enough to know that, hey, if this is HTML, I want to place that instead of as an attachment to the email, I want to put that in the body of the email, which is why when I created that email, I just left the body of that email blank. So that's why I save it as HTML. Here, this is another important setting, save only into temp. Here I want to set that as yes. If you're actually wanting to save this document to SharePoint as well, here you would select no. That would then tell DocumentsCorePack, hey, I not only want to save it into my my temp directory to possibly use later, but I want to go ahead and save that to SharePoint as well. So, but here I'm not saving it to SharePoint, so I'll just say yes. Now I want to set up and attach this to my email. This is one of the great things about DocumentsCorePack here. Let's see, I can come down. I'm going to grab that local value, that created email, and select the email message, add that in there, and there we go. With these auto-merge working items, you're able to actually do multiple steps at one time. So I'm able to create this document, okay, and then automatically go ahead and attach it to the email. So I can do that all in one step instead of having multiple steps to create the document and then attach it to the email. So it's pretty good. So I'll save that and close it because I'm done here. All right. So now I do need to add, the next step that I need to add is a wait condition. And the reason that I have to add a wait condition is that, hang on a second, create email body. The reason that I have to add this wait condition in here is this particular record, the auto-merge working item record. And once we create that record, our service goes and it looks for these records that have been created, and then it just picks it up and processes it, and then gives you the document back. The problem is like our service can't kind of stop the workflow or anything like that. The workflow is just it's going to create this and then keep going. So basically what I have to do is select this particular step here, this create email body, and then I have to wait for the status here of this particular record to be equal to, let me just blow this up a little bit, to be equal to inactive. So when we create the record, they're automatically set as active. Once the service is done with it, it's set to the inactive. So I'll just say OK, and then I'll save and close that. So basically, this step here waits until this is done. So it's waiting until it's created that email body and then attached that document into that email. So it's waited for that. And then now I want to create my final step, which is then creating the coupon here. So I'll just add a step. I'll create a record. Okay, I'm going to create attachment here. So let's grab we're going to create another document, MS auto-merge working item here. I'll set these properties for this. And again, it's pretty much the same thing. All right, and the auto-merge action is create the document here, primary record URL. Just tell it which record we're working on. All right. And then the template to execute is going to be this this coupon here. So this I'm actually going to save as PDF. If I can, there we go. And then my save only into temp. I'm not saving it to SharePoint, so I'm going to go ahead and click yes. That I want to save it only into the temporary directory. So then what I need to do here is I need to attach it to an email. Simple again, I just go to my local values, to my created email step, and I'm just going to attach it to the email message. Say OK. So now this is basically going to create the document, create a PDF here from this template. It's going to attach it to that, and then since I'm done, I want to go ahead and automatically send that. So I can come down here to my send email step, and I just need to give it the email to send. So again, I'm looking for this local value, the created email, and then the email message. I'll just add that in, and it will now, once it's done processing and attaching that, it'll then send that. One thing to kind of look at here is that on these auto-merge working items, everything happens from, this is the first thing that once I give it an auto-merge action, that's where it basically starts and then goes through the entire, looks through the entire thing. So it's kind of handy. So it's basically going to create this document first, it's going to attach it to the email, and then send that email. So then I will save and close this. All right, great. So that is pretty much the workflow. That's pretty much all I need. I'm creating an email, I'm creating that email body and adding that to the email, and then I am creating my coupon and then attaching it to the email and then sending that email. That's all going to happen when the invoice status equals paid. So I'll go ahead and save this, and then I want to go ahead and activate this. All right, so I've activated this process. And it takes just a second to activate. So I'm just going to leave this open right here. Come back to my invoice here. So now, say for example, so basically here, I'm going to go ahead. I've got the check. It's cleared. The invoice has been paid. So I just need to click this button, and its status reason is completed. I think you got a couple of choices here. You can do a partial as well, but this status reason is completed. So what's going to happen now? This record status is going to change from active to paid. And what that's going to do is if I come back here to my process and look at my process sessions here, I've got my workflow. It's in progress right now. So it's just kind of going along. It's going through the steps. Right now, it's waiting for that first process where it's creating that email body and attaching it to the email. It's just kind of waiting. This takes it a few seconds to do. So as you can kind of see here, we're kind of just following the process along. But as the user, I hit that pay button, I hit complete, I move on to the next thing. All this is kind of going on in the background. So we're basically saving a lot of time, keeping that user from having to, kind of open up Outlook, create that email, and then maybe, change some things on the coupon and send that out to the user. So there we go. So this automatic payment confirmation has succeeded. And now I just need to should probably just take a brief second for this to come in to my email, and I can show you what the results were. So see, I'll just go ahead and close that down real quick and wait for that email. It's as you can see, this takes a little bit of time. And again, it's helping your users just move on to other things. This is just kind of just a real simple example. On that particular workflow, I could get more complicated. I could add something for, if the invoice was canceled, I could send them an invoice cancellation email. I could do that in the same workflow. On and on and on. Update certain records from that. Like I said, that's just a brief little piece that we wanted to do there and show you. Let me go ahead. It's sure the email looks like the email router is sure taking its time. Let's see where this is at. Oh, there we go. So there we go. So I got the email in. So it's hey, we're contacting you to let you know that we received your payment for the invoice. All dynamic fields here, all pulled from CRM from the record. Still got my signature, and then I've got a nice little 10% off coupon. Again, this is done in DocumentsCorePack here, so I can add the person's name, the date that the coupon was created, and who it was issued by, on and on and on. So I hope that kind of shows you a couple of things, just a general idea on how you can use that. One of the things that we've had before just a kind of a quick thing if you want to read a little bit more about it, about how it's been used before. There was a company, Blanchard and Company. They basically used the DocumentsCorePack to fully automate their order and shipping documents. It was a really successful install, and it worked out really, really well for them. Also with Hitachi Solutions as well. They were the CRM consultant on that job. Worked out really, really well. So again, when we send these slides out, this will be in there. And if you want to read a little bit about the case study, how everything kind of went down and what they accomplished with that, just feel free to go ahead and click that link and read that. But it was a really interesting and fun thing to work on. So I want to go ahead and thank everybody for joining. Again, just to kind of go over a few things. If you've been here before, you've heard this before, you can always find us on the web at www.mscrm-addons.com. Our Help Center, which we have some live chat, and we have our support team. You can get us there. It's at mscrm-addons. You just go to our main web page. You'll see a little support button there. You can click on that, hit the drop down. You can find our webinars there. You can find documentation there. You can find the link to the live chat, etc. And also, we have a pretty awesome blog, and that's at blogs.mscrm-addons.com. We post like little snippets of tricks, tips, and things of that nature there as well. If you've ever written into support before, sometimes we'll send you a blog article back. Just kind of check into that blog once in a while. I'm pretty sure you'll find some interesting stuff. Again, our contact numbers are listed here. If you have any questions, technical questions, or anything like that on this, or you can always email us at support@mscrm-addons.com. And any pricing related questions, licensing related questions, or anything like that, you can email us at office@mscrm-addons.com. You can also do our sales guys. We have sales@mscrm-addons.com. And if you're in the U.S. or Canada, you can use the US sales@mscrm-addons.com. Excuse me. I'm going to have to take a little drink of water here. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, open this up for some questions here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.